Should an F2P pull for Sparkle? Short answer, yes. Long answer, this entire video. Sparkle is a quantum offensive support that is strikingly similar to Bronya in terms of her kit, with the exception of the new mechanic she brings with the skill points over limit. And today, I will give you a brief explanation of the character to help mainly F2Ps to decide if they should pull for Sparkle. Let's take a look at her kit. The first is the basic attack. It's a basic attack like any other character, but her A2 trace allows her to gain 10 extra energy from this, allowing her to charge her ult faster than any other support, because she doesn't need to use her skill to generate 30 energy in one instance. Her skill is basically Walmart Bronya. The crit damage increase scales off her crit damage, and the action defense effect is only 50%. Doesn't cleanse debuff either. Though, if your DPS, which should be the target of this skill 90% of the time, has decent speed, it should still guarantee them immediately having a turn. Her A4 Ascension allows her skill to last until the start of the target's next turn, which might not make a lot of sense, but it works with DPS that uses follow-up attacks outside of their turn, like Herta, Himeko, or Clara. Her ultimate is directly linked to her talent. This is her main gimmick. It allows the team to have 7 skill points, and every time someone uses a skill point, the team's damage increases, stacking up to 3 times. The ultimate, lasting for 2 turns, allows the damage boost per stack to be increased by a certain percentage, on top of it immediately giving 4 skill points. Her A6 talent encourages building mono-quantum teams because of the big total 45% attack increase, but it's not an absolute must, as she works just fine in various teams. Last but not least is her technique. It makes you invisible, and when entering battle while invisible, you get a 3 additional SP right off the bat. For the Relic set, the first choice would be the 4-piece messenger set for the team-wide speed buff while ulting. You can also get 2 and 2 along with Longevous Disciple, or get Guardian of the Wuthering Snow for more survivability. For the planar ornaments, you would want the Penacony set, since she prefers having a quantum DPS, or use Broken Keel for effect resistance and general purpose. You'll want to put as much speed and crit damage into her as much as possible. For her Light Cone, her BIS would be her signature, but to a surprisingly small margin. For an F2P, generally you don't really want to pull for both the character and the Light Cone, unless the Light Cone is just extremely good. It's better to instead use But the Battle Isn't Over or the Bronya Light Cone if you have it lying around, or Past and Future. You might be having concerns about the next ally taking action clause on the Light Cone since the skill only advances action by 50%, but like I said, if your main DPS has decent speed, I'm certain that 95% of the time, if you use the skill on them, they will take their action next. For Eidolons, she works well enough on E0, but if you have an overabundance of Stellar Jades, I'd recommend getting her E1 instead of her Light Cone, because not only does it give you some quality of life by way of additional turn on her ultimate, it additionally increases all allies' attack by 40% to complement all the damage boost that she gives, so it doesn't have too much of a diminishing return. So should you, as an F2P, pull for Sparkle? Sparkle is a great support that is the answer to teams that are SP hungry. If you feel like your Bronya and your DPS is eating up way too many of your team's precious skill points, Sparkle is the perfect answer to that. She works very well with DPS that are inherently very skill point hungry, which I don't think they need an introduction at this point. Conversely, she doesn't work too well with DPS that barely consume skill points, such as Jingliu or Blade. She prefers a team with 2 DPS to fully take advantage of her party-wide damage buff through skill point consumption, instead of solo carries. There is actually a slew of teams that we can experiment with that wasn't normally viable due to skill point restrictions. Sparkle opens up the possibility that we might need to cover in another video. But for now, that's all I wanted to talk about. If you found the video helpful, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's free and it helps me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.